Hi there, welcome to another Sunday Sunshine Show. My name's Marie. I'm British, but I do live in Dallas. And every Sunday I do a collaboration with Tina from Tina's Talk Time and Maria from Maria Crocker. We're all three British, we all three are over 50, and every Sunday our video will be a completely different type of video, whether it's chatty or whether we're out and about, whether we're cooking. Whatever it is, it will be over 50 lifestyle themed. So if this interests you, stay tuned. And at the end of the video, please go visit Tina and Maria's videos. Their channels will be linked in my description box. So this week's video, the theme is, what have we stopped doing now that we're over 50? So let's jump into today's video. So the first thing that I've stopped doing since turning 50 is a big one and a sad one, because I really enjoyed doing this, and that is camping. Yeah, sadly, my husband and I decided that when we moved to Dallas, we would sell all of our camping equipment, and we had a lot of it. We had everything. We even had a baking oven that you could bake a cake whilst you're camping. We had a huge tent. Now, when we lived in Vegas, we used to go camping on Mount Charleston, and when we were in England, we'd camp out all over the place, to be quite honest, and we loved it. It was so much fun. We would take our barbecue grill and we'd spend a weekend camping, and yeah, even if it was raining or snowing, we really did enjoy it. But since turning 50, those aches and pains have set in, and my husband said he thinks he's done with camping. So we sold all of our equipment, and now it will be hotels from now on, although I am trying to talk him into buying a small van so we could go away on little van trips. I think that would be fun. What do you think? Has that ever appealed to you? I do watch a few YouTube channels that their life is like living out of a van, and it does appeal to me, I can say. The next thing we have stopped doing since turning 50 is stop having house parties. Now, house parties in England are a little bit different to house parties, I think, in America. A house party in England is do some nibblies, set it out in the kitchen, turn some music on, have some drinks and dance the night away. Whereas a house party, I think, in America is more so doing a barbecue, putting on the barbie, having an outdoor-indoor venue, playing some music, chatting. The guys will probably end up playing dominoes or cards, and it's more of a chilled event. Now in Vegas, of course, we had a swimming pool, so it was more of a pool party and barbecue versus a house party. But I think it really, if I'm honest, it's not so much since we turned 50, it was really when COVID hit. We just stopped having people over to the house in big multiple numbers. And yeah, now that we live in Dallas, we don't know that many people. So will it happen again? I don't think so. I think we're living more of a mellow life. So I'm not sure if it will ever happen again. I'm going to probably say no. So another thing that I stopped doing, and it really was around the age 50, and that was mindlessly watching TV for pure entertainment. And that means watching movies, which my husband that's mainly what he does, do it of an evening, watch movie and sports. When I lived in England, I would watch a lot of the series. So there'd be EastEnders, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, and there was one that was set in Liverpool. I can't remember the name of that one, but I quite liked that one. That one was on a Saturday afternoon, if I remember rightly. But I stopped watching all those really time-wasting TV activities, and I've narrowed it down to watching documentaries. So I'd rather learn something than just be entertained. Now that's not to say that I will never watch another movie again, because that's not true. If my husband comes and spends the evening in the living room from his man cave, we will sit down and he will choose a movie. But I've been way more mindful of my time and how I spend it, and I choose my TV watching more wisely, I think, is how I would put it. However, I do watch YouTube, and I love to watch YouTube channels for two reasons. One, to learn and to be entertained, but two, I love watching other people's editing. Because I have my own channel, I love to get little nuggets of information of how I could do something on my channel, how maybe I could change my channel slightly. So yeah, I do watch a lot more YouTube and a lot less TV, and I don't go to the movies anymore. I forgot about that. Yeah, I actually don't remember. I got asked this at work by one of the younger co-workers. They said to me, what was the last movie I went to see in the cinema? And I couldn't remember. It might have been the first Downton Abbey movie. I went with my British friends in Vegas, but I think that's, yeah, that was a few years ago. Anyway, that's that one. Since turning 50, I have switched up my weekends. So now, actually, I work a lot of weekends, but back in the day when I was younger, I'd mainly work Monday through Friday and I have the weekends off. And I'd always want to be out of the house, whether I was out walking in the woods, at the beach, going into London. I always wanted to keep busy. I always wanted to be out of the house doing something. And I think that stems from my childhood, because we never went anywhere when I was a child. If it was somewhere, it was to go to an aunt's house for the summer holidays, but we rarely ever left the house unless I was in the back alleyway playing or at the local park playing, but we never went anywhere really. We didn't have a car growing up, and yeah, I don't know. So I think in my 20s and my 30s, that's all I ever wanted to do, was be out of the house at the weekends. Now I'm 50, my days off are a little bit different, but on my days off, like in my 30s and 40s, I still would want to be out of the house doing something, whether I was going to lunch with the girlfriends or breakfast for the girlfriends or shopping with them, doing something. But now I am so content of being in my house at the weekends and being in my back garden. Actually, when did I turn 50? It might have been the year. It was the year before COVID, I believe. I think I turned 50 in 2019. I did, because I was born in 69, duh. So yeah, it was a COVID 50 thing that I think changed me, where I'm happier and more content being at home at the weekends and enjoying my house and the fruits of my labor of making my house such a really lovely place to live in. So yeah, I don't go out as much now that I'm 50. One other thing that has changed, and that is I don't feel comfortable going to huge venues. I think the last really big venue that I went to was J-Lo's concert in Las Vegas, and they don't make me feel comfortable. I don't know whether it's because of today's society and some of the things that are happening at venues. I don't want to discuss it because it's too depressing, and I like to keep my channel more upbeat. I want you to be happy after you've watched one of my videos, a smile on your face. But yeah, I think it's more of today's society more than a 50s thing that's changed in me. I'm not that happy about being in big volumes of people. So yeah, that's something else that I've stopped. But I really have racked my brain and tried to think of things that has changed from my 20s to my 50s and what I've actually stopped doing. And that's really all I can think of, because I don't want to slow down. And there was something that I listened to on TV the other day, and it was a quote that Prince, the singer, was talking about. He said he doesn't celebrate birthdays because really and truly, we've only ever had one birthday. And it's true, isn't it? on our first and our second birthday, we haven't been reborn, you know, it's just more of a celebration that we've been on Earth 2 years, right? So that got me thinking, and I went down a rabbit hole with my thoughts on this one, but I got to thinking about literally we live our whole life around numbers. So we're born on a number. For me, it was June 21st. We get up in the morning to a number on a clock. We clock off at work to a number. We age by a number. Our whole year is a calendar of numbers. And I just thought, I wonder if life had been different if there wasn't numbers. Does that make sense? Like, if we just woke up when we woke up, the sun rising, and we just got up, just like caveman did. Yeah, I told you I went down a rabbit hole, didn't I? But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, when they get to a certain age, like a lot of people don't like turning 30. And what if we didn't have that? What if those numbers, those birthdays didn't exist and we just enjoyed life and carried on? We would see ourselves age, but there wasn't this niggling thought in our head, oh, I'm 50, oh, I'm 60, oh my gosh, how many more years do I have left? You know, I don't know. Would it be different? Would we just be looking at our faces more so, saying that we're aging instead of referring to a number? You know what, I got a funny story. It's not that funny, but for about 4 months, gosh, this was a few years ago, I think probably around, I think I was 44, and for ages, I kept thinking my next birthday, I'm going to be 45. And I had said something to my husband about, oh, you know, when I turn 45. And he looked at me and he said, you're not going to be 45, you're going to be 44. I was like, oh my gosh, I've gained 6 months, because for some reason I'd got it wrong. I thought I was turning 45. But gosh, what a comeback. I'd scored an extra 6 months of my life. But yeah, anyway, that was my funny story. And really and truly, I've always felt young. I've always felt like I'm still like 20. I just don't feel like I've aged. I obviously look like I've aged, but I don't feel it. I feel still like I'm 20. So there really isn't a lot of things that I want to slow down. If someone at work suggested to me, hey Marie, this weekend do you want to go roller skating? I would say yeah. Or if someone said, should we go rock climbing at the weekend? I would say yeah. And honestly and truly, I've really only stopped camping because my husband doesn't want to do it anymore. And I certainly wouldn't ever go camping by myself. That would never happen. I don't want to slow down. You just never know, you know, when ill health could strike you. One of my sayings that I've always said is, the more you put into life, the more you'll get out of life. And I just want to do things, and I want to, and I always say this, I want to be in a rocking chair looking back at my life saying, I've done a lot, I've done this, and I've got lots of memories, and we only have one life, so live it. And until something happens where, you know, I don't know, an illness, that's the only thing that can pop into my head right now, would slow me down, that's really only when I do want to slow down. And I just want to live my life the way I want to now. I am enjoying Dallas so much. I feel relaxed, chilled, calm, and I just don't want to stop. So lots of more adventures to happen, lots more things to do. And yeah, I'm still working through my bucket list. Do you have a bucket list? Is there a list of things that you want to get done before you say enough? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please now pop over to Tina and Maria's channels and see what they've stopped doing. Maybe it's the same things you've stopped doing. Thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I will see you during the week on Friday for another vlog. Bye from me.